So hello everybody, welcome. So just some house rules for the presentation today. Please use the chat box to ask any questions or participate. Please keep your mic and video muted during the presentation. If you have any technical issues, you can post questions in chat. And if you get disconnected or have any kind of major technical issues, you can call the number or email the IT help desk here on the screen. So this session is paying for college, funding options, and exploring financial aid portal. We kind of want to address how you're paying for college and give an overview of funding options that are available to Green River students. Plus, we're going to give you a little walkthrough of the financial aid portal. So today, today's presentation is being presented by Amanda Thomas from Workforce Education, myself, Nicole Robbins from Financial Aid, and Heather Eubanks from the Foundation Office. In this workshop, you'll receive an overview of the funding options that are available to Green River students. You'll learn about the basics of applying for funding and explore the financial aid portal. We're going to learn how to log in, navigate, and get answers to common questions in the portal. As a student, you have several different options of support, including financial aid, workforce education, scholarships, and the benefits hub. Each of these is going to have different things that they can cover, as well as different types of funding that are available and different criteria for eligibility. In financial aid, we have three main types of financial aid. The first is grants. Grants are need-based funding that come from the federal government, state government, and the college, and do not typically have to be repaid. We also provide work study, which is a need-based employment. Most work study positions are available on campus. However, there are a few that are available within the community. And with work study, students earn a regular paycheck for the hours that they work, but that paycheck comes out of the budget that you're given through financial aid. We also provide loans. Loans are money that are borrowed at a fixed low interest rate to be repaid after your studies are completed or you're no longer attending school. A lot of students seem to be nervous about getting student loans, but student loans come with a better interest rate than any kind of private funding that you're usually going to find. And they also have better rates and repayment options than credit cards or payday loans, which we have a staggering number of students who choose to pay with credit or payday loans instead of paying with student loans. In order to qualify for financial aid, you have to complete either the FAFSA or the WASFA application. Most people are going to need to do FAFSA, however, some will need to do WASFA. If you're unsure, start with WASFA. There's a questionnaire at the beginning. If you do need to complete WASFA, it will put you straight through to the application. If you do need to complete FAFSA, it will kick you back to the FAFSA, or it'll give you the information and tell you to go to the FAFSA website. And those websites are both available here. We understand that several of our students experience different special circumstances, whether it be loss of a parent or spouse, divorce or separation, either for yourself or for your parents, depending on your status as dependent or independent. If you feel like you have special circumstances, whether it's one of these listed or something else, you can always contact our office. Any of our representatives can help you figure out what we need to do to get your special circumstances taken into consideration. So FAFSA and WASFA both have some pretty strict timelines that we have to follow. If you are still looking to get financial aid for spring or summer quarter, it is not too late to apply. You can do applications up until June 30th of this year. The 2019-2020 application will use your 2017 tax information. If you're applying for funding for fall or beyond, it will go off of your 2018 taxes. If you're looking for fall quarter, the priority dates for fall quarter are April 30th to get that application done. So common issues we have with financial aid. If you complete your FAFSA for the wrong academic year, that's a common problem we're having right now. We have several students who, because we're in 2020, have completed their 2020-2021 FAFSA, but not their 19-20, and they're looking for funding for spring or summer. So if you're in doubt, please check with us. We're happy to help you figure out which academic year you need to apply to. A common one with a lot of transfer students is that we're missing the school code. The school code is what allows Green River to see your financial aid application, and without it, we have no access to your information whatsoever. If you or your parent forget to sign your FAFSA, we will not receive it, or we will be, it'll be delayed in processing. Your federal tax filing status matters, so if you have questions about that, please consult with somebody in our office. If you are selected for verification and do not complete the verification process, it can hold up your financial aid. And any time that you do not meet our deadlines, it can delay your financial aid as well. So for the verification process, we will notify you all the time at your Green River email. So you need to make sure you're checking that frequently when it comes to financial aid documentation that's required. So the financial aid portal is going to help manage your financial aid process. In the portal, you can check the status of your application and your financial aid. You can download and upload required documents that help us make sure that you're eligible for financial aid. When your aid has been determined, you can go into the portal and accept or decline your types of aid. And then you can, the really cool thing is you can log in right from the financial aid homepage. It's also the most secure way to send your personal information. So let's take a look real quick at what the portal looks like and how to navigate. So from the Green River webpage, if you go down to where financial aid is under the student support, this financial aid portal will be the fourth bullet point down. When you get in, you'll click on I agree, and then it's going to ask for your login information. So today we are going to look at the information for Slater Gator. So the first main thing about the portal is you're going to want to check which award year that you have active right now. So this little drop down here will let us take a look at whichever school year is available. For Slater, we're going to want to look at his spring quarter funding. And we're going to go down this list here. So Slater has turned in everything that was required of him, and you can tell that by this date received column here. Anything that's requested is going to be showing up here, but we'll talk more about that later. The other way we can tell that he turned in everything that he needed, he has awards showing underneath this section. So for the loans that he's offered, we can click accept and save, and that's going to save Slater's loan acceptance for the quarter. It's going to ask you to verify, and we're going to go ahead and click yes. Now, if Slater had been offered any kind of grants, your grant funding will be automatically accepted, since that is not funding that you have to pay back. But loans will be the only thing that you will have to accept or decline. When you accept or decline loans, we have to have you accept or decline for the full year. You cannot, unfortunately, just accept per quarter. But there are ways that we can kind of get around some of that through some of the paperwork. Again, you'll want to contact somebody from our office to talk about that. So since Slater has been on top of his game, we're going to take a look and see what Slater did for 2021. So he got his application done. One of the key things we also want to look at is this section right up here. Your estimated cost of attendance is how much it is estimated that you will spend not just on tuition, but on housing and other costs during the quarter, or during the school year, sorry. Your expected family contribution is what is figured out through FAFSA. We receive that number from FAFSA, and you will, it'll basically be what your family is expected to be able to contribute towards your educational costs for the school year. Student need is your estimated cost of attendance minus your expected family contribution, and this is what we try to fill with financial aid. So looking down here, as I said earlier, you can see the things that we need to complete here in this section under the column that says date received. If there's not a date there, we haven't received that information yet, and it is still required to turn in with your financial, for your financial aid to be reviewed. So we are asking for Slater Gator's tax information for him and or his spouse. And we're looking for an independent verification form. So for this form, it will take you, if you click the download, it will take you directly to the form that we're looking for. We're going to download this form, and we're going to get that saved so that we can go back to that in a minute. So if Slater completed his form, we can go back over here, and now we're going to see somebody uploaded something. Sorry, let me clear this off. So we can go in here and we can upload the attachment. We're going to go back to that verification worksheet, and we're going to click upload. And it's now going to show up down here. Or not. Okay, so it should show up down here that we have uploaded it. Let's try it one more time and see if it works. There we go. So this will show that the attachment has been uploaded, and gives you the option to delete the attachment. So if you put the wrong form on there, you can go back and delete it. The important thing to keep in mind when you're uploading is that if you have, say, if Slater had gotten married and him and his spouse had 2 separate tax returns to submit, we can only accept one of them per upload button at a time. So Slater would have to do his tax return here and his spouse's under one of the other upload buttons that are available. It doesn't necessarily have to be the line for the item that you're trying to upload, but it has to be one per line. So one of the common problems we have with the portal is that it will tell you that the file that you're trying to upload is too large. If you go into Adobe Acrobat or most other PDF viewers, it will give you an option to reduce the file size. You can also try saving as a Word document. If it is an image, say you don't have a scanner and you had the printed document in your hand and you were taking a picture to send it in, you can also resize pictures and JPEGs down to the smaller size type, and it'll be easier to upload. All right, And for information on scholarships, I'm going to hand it over to Heather.
All right, thanks, Nicole. So hi, everybody. I'm just going to do a really quick overview of Green River College Foundation scholarships. So each year we have about more than 300 different scholarships that we have available to award to just Green River students. So if you go on and fill out one application, which the application is open now, and you can see the website listed there, www.greenrivercollegefoundation.org. If you go to our website there's a link to the online application that will put you directly in. So just by filling out that one application, you're essentially applying for all of the scholarships that we offer. Together with our scholarship readers and the online application program, we are then able to determine, what awards we have that you are eligible for. So just one application. Now is the perfect time to be filling out your application. You can do it all from home, all online. The deadline is coming up on April 30th. So still plenty of time, but I think it'll be here before we know it. A few elements of the application that I just want to make you aware of that you'll need are first a personal statement. So a student essay that's up to 1,000 words, just telling us your story, why you came to Green River, what program you're pursuing while you're here, and how will a scholarship help you reach those goals. Second, you'll need your most recent transcripts that can actually be accessed via the Green River main webpage. They do not have to be official, so you can get the copy that you're provided on our main website. And then thirdly, you'll need at least one letter of recommendation, and that can come from an instructor, any staff on campus, a supervisor or boss, just not close friends and family. So what you'll do is actually send a request to the person you're requesting that letter of through the online application. So it all happens through email. If you are awarded a scholarship, they are typically around $1,000 to $2,000 each. And the first quarter that you would be able to start using that is fall quarter. So what we would do is we would split that total, if it's 1,000 or 2,000, we would split that amongst 3 quarters starting in fall. So it could help you with some dollars in fall, some dollars in spring or winter, and some dollars in spring quarter. Scholarships can be used for a few different things. So number one, they're typically put towards tuition and fees. Secondly, they can help with books. And then lastly, they can help with supplies. If you're in welding or automotive or a program that's supply heavy, we can use funds to help you with those expenses as well. Let's see, with the deadline being April 30th, if you apply now, we usually get results out after July 1st, and we will communicate that with you through your Green River email address. So just be sure to be checking in there and watching that often. So for Green River College Foundation scholarships, that is just for our students on campus. So just by being a student here, you're eligible to apply for those. With the next bullet point down, the washboard.org, that's another great website to go to, get familiar with. Those are open to students in the state of Washington. So you'll see that that's a much bigger pool of students from across the state. You'll be able to go in there and create a profile. It will help you decide what scholarships they have that you are eligible for. So I highly, highly recommend going on and setting up a profile in washboard.org as well. And then lastly, FastWeb is more of a nationwide database. And so that's an even larger pool of students across the nation. With Green River Foundation scholarships, if you have questions in particular about filling out the application, logging in for the first time, or really any time along the process, you can email me directly. And at the end of this, I'll input my email address. You can also, when you go onto the Green River College Foundation site, you'll see there that there's an opportunity to contact us through email to me or email directly to the foundation to ask questions as well. That's it. I'm going to pass it on to Amanda now.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Amanda. I work in the Workforce Education Office. We are grant funded. That means free money from the state and federal government. Our grants can assist with tuition and books. Some cases, we also can help with educational supplies like welding tools, some of our grants too. We only pay for career and technical program. The link below has the list of career and technical programs that we have here at Green River. That's from natural resources to practical nursing to business management, etc., of what programs that we pay for. So the 4 grants that we have in our office is Opportunity Grant, Work First, Worker Retraining, and Basic Food and Employment Training. So the first grant we're going to talk about is called Opportunity Grant. Keep in mind, students can be eligible up to 3 of our grants in our office. So if you think that you need 1 to 2 or 3 that you think you can self-identify that you may be eligible, that's great, because we'll look at all 3 grants to assist you. Keep in mind, if you are receiving financial aid, that does play a factor on how much we can assist with, especially if you're taking out loans. So Opportunity Grant only pays for certain programs under workforce education. So that will be healthcare, business, aviation, IT, natural resources, welding, and any IBEST program. The grant only pays for 45 college credits. I know it seems very small because a lot of people may be taking 2-year degrees, but keep in mind, if you do have financial aid, Opportunity Grant can still assist you. So it can possibly pay for your tuition so you get more of your financial aid back. It does have a stipend of $1,000 for books and supplies and tools. This is the only grant that has actually a time clock. So any money towards Opportunity Grant, so hypothetically, if we paid your tuition with Opportunity Grant for this spring quarter, a clock will start for 3 years. Even if you go to Highline or Bellevue other schools, the clock will keep ticking. So the qualifications for Opportunity Grant is that you have to be a Washington resident. Your family income is at below 200% of the poverty level. And look, it popped up beautifully. Of the guidelines. Keep in mind, this is income-based. You have to complete your FAFSA or WASFA. You have to be registered in a college level classes 100 or higher. So I mean English 101 or Psychology 200. And then the last criteria you don't have to meet that unless you're a DACA or a Dreamer. So this is not a grant just specifically for DACA or Dreamers. Just DACA and Dreamers need to meet all the criteria above. But if you are not a DACA or a Dreamer, but you meet the other 4, you're still eligible for Opportunity Grant. Work First pays for career and technical, IBEST, EOL classes, GED, high school completion. What's amazing about Work First, it also has work study under Work First can be approved. It's a little bit different than federal work study through financial aid. There's a couple differences. So one of the biggest differences is that EOL and GED, people doing EOL and GED can also be eligible for Work First work study. Another difference is that when it comes to public assistance, like food stamps, it does reduce some of your food stamps. Federal work study does not reduce any of your food benefits. So to be qualified for Work First, you have to be on TANF, that's temporary assistance for needy families, and you have to get approval from your case manager. Okay, this one I always have to drink a little bit of water because it's a lot, you can see. So Work Retraining is the only grant in our office that actually pays for the bachelor program here at Green River. It also pays for the high school completion and also abilities to benefit too. So if you are collecting unemployment exhausted your unemployment the last 4 years. So anyone who is collecting unemployment or have applied for unemployment, please reach out to our office because you can still collect unemployment and go to school. There is an opportunity to do that. If you received a layoff notice, you were self-employed and your business was closed in the last 4 years, receive a layoff notice from the armed forces or separated from the armed forces in the last 4 years. A displaced homemaker, someone lied on someone's income and no longer has it. That means it can be from separation, widow, or divorce. The last criteria is vulnerable worker. So you have to meet 2 of the 3 criteria as a vulnerable worker. So a vulnerable worker is someone's currently working. So your current occupation has to be not in demand. A good example is in King County, cashiers are not in demand. So if you are a cashier, you meet one of those criteria. And if you don't have 45 college credits plus a certificate or degree, so what that means is, let's say you got a prior degree at UW in communications, but you want to come here for automotive. You can check the box that you don't have 45 college degree plus a certificate or degree related, because automotive is not related to communications. And then you must upgrade your skill to remain employed at your current job. So let's say if you are a teacher and you're just trying to upgrade your skills for the new job market, and that's what your employer are asking. And then the link below is where you can find the information of the demand and decline list in each county. Okay, last one, basic food and employment and training. Those are recipients receiving food stamps. So it's also the same as Work First. The little bit different is that BFET does not have a work study under that umbrella. So it pays for EOL, GED, high school completion classes. You must be receiving food stamps, so federal food stamps, not state food stamps, that's called FAP. If you think you're eligible for food stamps, we can also give you a referral for food benefits. And so how it works is basically we don't make the decision to approve you for school. The Department of Social Health does make that decision. So when you register and let us know, then we'll send your information to the Department of Social Health. They're the ones who make the decision to approve you or deny you for school benefits. A lot of times what happens if you are denied is because, most likely is because you didn't complete your review or you're receiving state food stamps. So how do you apply for workforce education? We typically have workshops, but right now, because the quarter is about to start, we don't have workshops at this time. But if you send us an email to our department down below at workforce@greenriver.edu, we'll respond back and you can talk to a coordinator that can assist you to see if you're eligible. And we do not have deadlines for our application, so we're open all year round. So if you think you are eligible for spring quarter, we can still assist you. You can still place holds on you and review your file for spring quarter tuition and books. And Nicole gonna take it over now.
Thank you, Heather and Amanda. So let's say that you're in a position where either financial aid is not covering all of your tuition, or you don't have your financial aid in time, you don't qualify for workforce education, and you haven't heard back from your foundation scholarship about a scholarship for that quarter. You have the option of doing a step payment. Step payments will divide your tuition and fees into 3 equal payments. And that will allow us to hold your classes until financial aid comes through, or it gives you an easier payment option if you do have to pay completely out of pocket for your classes. There is a one-time non-refundable fee per quarter to add STEP to your schedule. And STEP is treated just like a class in registration. You go through your registration screen and add the STEP code in and click Add Drop Class. During emergencies, the benefits hub provide support during emergencies with a plan to get ahead and stay ahead. They can help with utility assistance, homelessness prevention and housing navigation, financial coaching, food resources, help paying for financial emergencies, connections to additional community resources, enrollment in public benefits such as the Orca Lift program, applying for EBT or basic food stamps, and applying for health care. If you have questions about the Benefits Hub, they are located in the Career and Advising Center on the main campus, and there's a section of the website that you can go to. If you search Benefits Hub, that's probably the easiest way to get there. Right now, we know that a lot of folks are struggling financially due to the pandemic. If you find yourself in crisis and need emergency help, you can contact any faculty member or staff member at Grand River. We can help to do a couple of different things. We can submit a cater pledge request to help find emergency funding. We can connect you with the Benefits Hub to look for additional community support. And we can coordinate appointments with campus safety to get you to the food bank on campus. We're here to help any way that we can. At this point, if we have any questions, I'd like to open it up for that.
Perfect. We did have one question come through. It says, can you get a loan for high school completion courses?
So loans are through the FAFSA, and in order to be eligible for FAFSA, you do have to have completed high school in order to be eligible. So technically speaking, no. Amanda, you may know a little bit more about this than I do, but for ability to benefit, there is a possibility you could be eligible. But you would have to start that journey by speaking with one of the representatives in the Master Achiever Center in the Career and Advising Center.
Correct, because that would make you eligible for financial aid. Abilities to benefit would also give you eligibility for like Pell Grant and everything under a student who already had their high school diploma. And you're absolutely right, Nicole, that you would need to talk to the Master Achievers if you wanted to switch over. And how Abilities to Benefit works is that you have to complete 6 credits of college level. I think it's like a 2.5, something around, you just got to pass. And then from there, you would still apply for financial aid just like every other student would apply. You would be flagged because you don't have a high school diploma, but you would already be processed through the financial aid office and the MAC working together with the financial aid office to see if you're eligible and what are you eligible for under financial aid.
Perfect. And the next question is, can you still pay for the tuition with STEP program online or on campus?
I believe that STEP can be paid online right now. If you are having issues making the STEP payment online, I would contact the cashier's office. They, I believe, have somebody available on campus right now via phone. And I know that they were working to get a Zoom lobby set up. I don't know where they are in that process right now. But they do have contact information that is available on our website, and they would be the best resource to find out information about the STEP payments.
I think you're right, Nicole, and they're all taking payments over the phone also.
Yeah.